This laptop here has a failed CCFL replacement, so we're just going to go ahead and replace the LCD. Just grab your flathead screwdriver, and this bezel around the LCD actually just pops right off. It's clipped on. Be very careful when you're doing this. I've actually broken mine a couple of times by now. Let's put that aside. Down here is your inverter board. Usually there'll be these two plugs. These will actually be plugged into the inverter board that go into the bottom of the LCD here. But since the CCFL bulbs, which are what these are attached to, have already been removed, that's why those are no longer there. I'll show you where those are on the new one when we get there. But you got 4 screws that hold this in. They're just in these corners here. There's a bunch of other screws here. These are for the hinges themselves. Don't actually take those out. And be careful, because these screws like to strip pretty easily. Okay, now this, grab onto it. There's a tab here and a tab here. Just pop that out and then set it down and just flip it all the way forward. Normally you'd unplug these right here. There'd be those 2 wires here. But this, you just take this clip that clips the LCD in. It's got 2 little pieces on there. So you push those in and you carefully unplug that and just kind of get that out of the way. And then you have your LCD out. These bars, we want to keep these bars for the new LCD that we ordered. I'll put that aside for a minute here. And these bars will just have 2 screws each in them. Now these bars, these longer brackets, are the ones that go on the bottom, so they'll face your power cords. Put that, and this you can pretty much just throw in the garbage. And the new one. This one you'll want to be careful with. Seeing it's brand new and you don't want to scratch it. It does come with a little protective cover on it, so when I set it down, I already cleaned this off. First thing you want to do is there's this here. It's a 15.4 inch WXGA, or WUXGA, sorry. You want to make sure that those numbers are the same. And here's the two. This top number, that's just a part number. This 1009, it's just a slightly newer model. But it is the same 15.4 inch. And you want to make sure that, like if you had a dual CCFL, which this one did, these are the two wires that come out. They are exactly the same. So you want to make sure, this model actually came with a single and a dual CCFL options. This one had the dual, so make sure if you had the dual that came out, you have the dual that goes back in. The single will not work properly. And putting these back on, the L piece goes on the back side, and the longer piece goes along the bottom side here. There are a couple of pins in here to help you line it up when you're putting it back together. They just go in these two middle slots here. And actually, before I put those brackets on, I am going to remove this this cover here that it came with. Otherwise that tape is going to get in the way. And these don't really have to be that tight. You just want to just snug them down a little bit. Not too tight. Okay, the brackets are now on the LCD. Bring the laptop back over here. Okay. First what we'll do is we'll plug the LCD panel back in. And then we'll plug our backlight back in. Oops. It's upside down. Okay. And then we'll flip it back up. We'll get it lined up on the bottoms there. Snap it in. And these you just want to make sure that they get kind of tucked back under. They don't get in the way of anything. Right here, make sure that this LCD cable gets pushed back in there so that it doesn't get pinched or anything when you put the bezel back on. Now right now we're just going to leave it like this, and we're actually going to power it on. And we're just going to make sure that the one that we just got works. And it most certainly does. I'm actually going to let this come all the way in because my computer doesn't take too long to actually boot up. Okay, and here we are. Just take a look, make sure you don't have any outlines or dead pixels, otherwise, you know, you might want to send this right back if it is defective in any way. This one actually is not. Oh, dirt there. But, okay, we're going to just shut this right back down and put the rest of the screws back in. Be careful when you're opening and closing this. You're not actually pushing on here, you're pushing on the frame. I know it may have looked like I was pushing on the LCD, but I was actually just holding it in there. And we'll get these screws in. See, I say be careful to make sure you don't strip one of these, because I actually stripped one of mine. And it makes it a pain if you ever have to pull it back out again for any reason. Alright, that's screwed in. I'm going to grab our bezel here. We'll get our bezel put back on. It seems like, at least on mine, the bottom one is slightly harder. The bottom snaps are slightly harder to do than the top ones are. I'm going to do those first. Maybe one of these days I'll buy a new bezel for mine. Alright, it's all snapped in there. And there it is. LCD is now completely replaced. Powered on, just do a quick double check and we'll be done. Yep, looks like everything is working fine. So that's how that is. Not too bad. The only tools that I needed was it's a PH0 screwdriver. We never actually did use this little one, which is just a PH00. And then just a regular flat screwdriver, pretty narrow, and that was just for taking this off. So just those two, the new LCD, and pull those plugs out, put the new ones in, and you're done. So, alright, thank you for watching.